the shadows of the mind where secrets hide. We dive into the dark where truth collides. Forensic minds unravel the twisted thread. True crime tales from the living and the dead. Why did they do it? To help, for love, in anger, or insane? Who will remember them? Who is to blame? The victims deserve justice. The guilty should be until the end of time. Echoes of the past in every crime.
Hi, everybody. I hope that you are doing well today on October the 26th. I have had messages the past 24 hours or so wanting me to comment on our newest marathon live by the uber professional team, Hidden True Crime. Okay. Sorry, I planned to do this yesterday, and unfortunately for those people that have been around the channel for a long time, Drover passed away yesterday. So it's been very sad. And I feel a little lost because he stayed with me all day long, every day. So it's a very sad thing. So I know that many of you know, that I used to share loads and loads of videos and pictures with Drover. And so, those of you that have been around, thank you. And I appreciate, your kind words. So that was, why I didn't, do this yesterday. Okay. All right, now then, I'm the title of this, Hidden Secrets Driving Confusing Narrative. I'm speaking from my own point of view. Okay, it's from my own personal experience and perspective. I've got to say, I am, I'm a little perplexed, or no, dismayed by what's coming out of this channel, Hidden True Crime. I am in dismay. Okay, I'm happy with that description. I think that's probably the best description for my experience. I don't know what they're doing. Okay. Look, there are certain channels that present evidence or stories in a very organized narrative that you can tell has been planned out. There is supporting or corroborating evidence or media that go along with that, professional narrative. Like, for example, one that comes to mind is Grizzly True Crime, correct? You know that if you go to Grizzly True Crime, you are going to hear a story, if you will, and her story will be organized and complete with media that she's curated and pulled together to create a presentation, if you will, right? Another one would be Peter Tragos, the lawyer, Plunder is always information rich because of the amount of good media evidence, FOIA attained information. You know what you're getting when you go to those channels, right? And previously, up to now, I would say that is what I had come to expect from Hidden True Crime. I will be honest, I probably have not missed many of the presentations they've done when Dr. John was there. But there were many times that I did not go when it was just Lauren. Okay, she's she probably the majority of their channel is just Lauren. So that I have reasons, but I'm very interested all the time, very interested in what John Matthias has to say. Okay. So I would peek in, see what their topic was. Sometimes I would listen to Lauren if it was a topic I was particularly interested in. If John Matthias was on the panel, then I usually would listen to those. That's probably my best. It's probably the best description. His presentations come with order. They're organized. He presents them on a foundation of literature. You can really tell that he had, I'm guessing, I don't know this to be truth, but it does seem that he's well read, not just in psychology, but that he uses a lot of characters from literature or backdrop stories to sort of make the point he's making with his assessment, his psychological view of what he's trying to present, correct? So I've enjoyed listening to him. And I'm going to tell you, I was just blown away by this video that he did. Really. Yeah, Crime Time Grime. Thank you for saying that. I'm really shocked. Shall I say it? Right? I'm not shocked to the level that I need my smelling salts. Okay. But I definitely am watching this slow moving train wreck. And I'm thinking to myself, what are you doing, Dr. John? Like, it's kind of crazy, isn't it? Like what we saw the other night on this live is simply, well, it's just defies description when you consider his level of education. Number one, the fact that the man is brilliant. For no other reason than he's valedictorian of his graduating high school class, right? For no other reason. Okay, he's a smarty pants. We know that to be true. But more than just being a smarty pants, he's a smarty pants that comes with world-class education. So this is a man, in fact, that knows how to make a presentation that hits home, a presentation that carries with it high impact insight. Correct? Okay, that is not what we got from him the other night. It goes through a range of flavors as you listen to it from beginning to end. There were times that I felt that he was actually addressing Lauren. which was really strange to me because I was like, dude, don't do this on a, public platform. This needs to be a conversation you're having when the cameras are off, preferably. Sometimes you got the feeling that he was addressing the viewers, us. And other times I felt like he was just pissed off. He's just mad about, yeah, thank you, Fancy Nancy. Thank you. He's just pissed off. He's just mad. And I do think that watching it from start to finish, you definitely walked away, no matter if you were familiar with his work previously or not. You definitely walked away going, okay, Dr. John, it is okay and highly desirable to step away from the damn camera when real life begins to override your, let's say, professional sensibilities. Can we say it that way? Yeah. Thank you. So he is angry. He's angry all the way around. And one has to wonder what is happening behind the scenes. Okay. And I don't really want to do that here, but I think my message is, listen, Dr. John, been there, done that. Okay. I too am a licensed clinical. In Texas, we're only licensed psychologists, and then you define your specialty. So I am a clinical psychologist. I'm licensed with the state of Texas as a licensed psychologist. I have a PhD. I have several master's degrees, and I work clinically. Much of my stuff is behavioral because, I'm working with people that have had catastrophic, enduring medical trauma, and they're trying to live life. They're trying to figure out, how do you re-enter the world after going through all the changes that, chronic medical issues or trauma issues sets up its own brand of struggles, right? I also do a lot of contract work where I'm doing good old-fashioned therapy to people that are relatively healthy and they're just trying to do better, like go to a higher level of functioning, if you will. So been there, done that. Even did forensic testing assessment for how long did I do that? Maybe probably 4 years. And I'm not going to sit here and like put out my entire Vita and just, that's stupid. But the point for me to say all that is I get it. I understand the crossroads between trying to put out a YouTube video or YouTube channel that other people find interesting and fun. Because let's face it, you guys are not here to be educated, more or less, right? You guys are not really here on YouTube because you want to sit through a 90-minute presentation and you need to take notes so that you can remember or understand what was discussed. That is not why we are on YouTube, people. The majority of people are on YouTube for exactly the same reason that I'm here, because I like friends. I like to chitter chatter, right? That's why we're here. I heard Mickey Stein's daughter, who has turned 18, and she has put out several videos. She's got a channel, I think on Instagram, maybe it's TikTok, but she's put out a couple of videos and she's saying, my pain real horrible pain. Okay. My pain is being used for your entertainment. You're gossiping about me. Now, I'm in a crossroads right now, a personal ethics. Hmm, I mean, I'm going through this period of soul searching. I'm trying to work through how to do this in a way that I feel good about. I don't want to exploit victims. I don't want to be entertained, so to speak, by someone else's nightmare. That's not what I mean by having friends. Here's what I mean. We make friends two ways in the world. We make friends either by just proximity, the people that are closest to us, correct? That's one way. But the second way is that we make friends because we have shared interest. And that's where the true crime comes in, isn't it? We have shared interest that we get attracted to some of these extraordinary human events that include crime. Correct? So if you look, nobody in my family wants to talk about a trial that's going on, or Jodi Arias, some historical murder. My family doesn't want to talk about that. They think I'm mental because I'm interested in such. And I've tried to explain it that, I don't talk about the gory details. I don't talk about the grisly, soul crushing moment of crime. That is not my interest. My interest is 100%. How do we get there as people? How do we go from, let's say, someone like Chris Watts, who's got this family who loves him, right? He's smart. He gets a good education. How does he end up in just a few short years' time becoming the most disgusting murderer on the face of the planet? What led him to that critical night, that fateful morning? Like, what happened in his life that led him there? That's what I'm interested in. So I don't often go into the details of these crimes. I don't talk about the grisly, gory, yucky, scary stuff. I'm interested in the secondary facts. How'd they do in high school? Did they have any friends when they were in school? What kind of punishment did their parents use when they were elementary school age? Of course, there's always attachment issues, and I delved deeply into attachment issues with the Chris Watts case. And I did have information about grisly details, and I chose not to air that, not to even discuss it, because I don't want to be responsible for somebody else's secondary trauma, right? So I just chose to keep that information to myself. Just chose that. But it's the lead up that I'm interested in. It's one of the reasons why I didn't get into the Dahmer series that was put out about 4 or 5 years ago. There was just way too much information about the grisly details of his crimes and not enough focus on what happened to him when he was a little kid. What was his dating life when he was a high school kid? They just didn't really go into that. But of course, that wouldn't have taken 13 episodes, right? You could have done that in 2 episodes. So, in the pursuit of the almighty, aka dollars, they chose to focus on the grim and grisly. So we make these friends, around true crime. I don't think there's a lot of people that really want to focus in on the gory details. If they are, I think there's a lot of people focusing on gory details that are probably scary people. You wouldn't want them in your real life. I think the majority of us are trying to make some sense out of a nonsensical or insane act, correct? And that is very interesting to me. And that was, that's why I'm here. But my family doesn't care about those things. They don't want to talk about people's trauma and pain. And so I'm in a soul searching state right now where I'm trying to decide, how do I stay true to myself and the, you guys being able to talk about these crimes, but to do it in a way that doesn't exploit, the people that were hurt. It's one of the reasons why I don't ever really spend a lot of time talking about the victims. And I've had people send me messages angry saying, all you would do is build up the killer and make them famous, and you totally ignore the victims. We should be talking about the victims. For me, that's a little upside down for me. For me, my point of view is the victims deserve privacy. That's my opinion. It doesn't mean I'm right. It's my opinion. I think they deserve privacy. I don't think they want a bunch of YouTubers digging into the personal lives of people that have been brutalized. I just don't think there's any. I think it's a lot more loving and respectful to leave them in peace, right? But discussing the criminal or the crime, the precursors, because that is educational in turn, not educational, but it's informative in that if you can figure out what is leading to these horrible events, then maybe we develop guidance that's a little bit more apropos and effective in stopping these crimes from happening in the first place. And I've said a million times, y'all, I've said it a million times. If you are in a marriage or a committed relationship and there are affairs and there is fighting, it's that you're in a dangerous environment. That is when people pull guns out and shoot each other. In a moment of intense fear and agony and protection of their life as they know it, not because they're evil, but because it just is overwhelming. And I think that people need to be prepared to leave sooner. And even though you leave, you can still go into therapy. You can still work together to try to put the relationship back together if you feel like it has value, or to move on in a healthy way if you can. But for me, going into these crimes where a spouse ends the life of another spouse, nearly 9 times out of 10, it was not premeditated. It was a moment of intense emotion where someone is just, I'm going to use the word terrified, and they feel like they're fighting for their life. Okay. So that's where I'm at. And so that's one of the reasons why I listen to people like John Matthias, because he's got background in history. He does these evaluations, and maybe you pick up on some nuanced information that I can then go and pull up in like professional journals and learn a little bit more about what he's addressing. Okay. So I was taken back I saw her 9-hour live, and I was like, honey, we need some downtime here. You need to walk away from the microphone. This is not what you want to be doing in this given situation. And I have zero doubt your husband knows that. And does he know that you're doing this live? Is this sanctioned by Dr. John? Or was this a moment of panic after leaving the courtroom, and you just felt like, no, damn it, I need to be heard. I need to say what I want to say, what I would have said in the courtroom. This is unfair. I don't know at this point. I really believed that there was no way that she would have done that with Dr. John saying, oh, yeah, great idea. I don't believe, no. And then he does his 3.5, 4 hour live. And I was like, oh my God, we're off the rails. Who's in charge of the home? Right? You get to that point. So I've been there, I've been there. It's one of the hardest things that I've done with my YouTube channel is to stay away from being a psychologist. Like I'm talking about when I go live and talk with you guys. You do want to go into your psychobabble. You do want to pull up your knowledge base and use that for these cases. But I've been very clear. I am not a media psychologist, nor do I have any desire whatsoever to be a YouTube psychologist. That is not why I'm here. I'm here to be one of the girls, right? I want friends. I want people that I can just talk and have fun and kind of be the person that I was in high school or, get my bachelor's degree in college. I just want to be with a group to have fun, goof around. I'm having a great time going to Queen Bee's channel, and I cannot lie. There have been times, because I listen to a show when I'm getting ready to sleep, right when I'm trying to relax from the day. It helps clear my mind of like work stuff. So listening to these channels helps me just kind of detach a bit and go to sleep. And on more than one occasion, I have literally laughed out loud. And like my husband's fast asleep. It's dark because I'm listening through earbuds. And just laugh out loud. And he's like, what's wrong? What's wrong? I'm like, nothing. It's okay. Go to sleep. So thank you, Queen Bee, for the laughs. Okay. So yeah, there's, I can imagine that they are struggling, but this leads me to the next part of it, right? I'm not altogether certain that Dr. John sanctioned the 9-hour live. I do believe that Lauren is damn proud of her 9-hour live. I don't know. Yeah, she doesn't even have to try, Holly. She doesn't even have to try. That's what makes it so hilarious, right? Man, just so funny. Okay, anyway, get back on topic here. No, I think Lauren's really proud of her 9-hour live, and I would really be curious why. Like if she was my friend and we were talking, just one-on-one, I'd be like, can you help me understand a little bit about that feeling of accomplishment that you seem to have related to the 9-hour live? Because I felt that it was a bit off the rails, right? But she is proud, and that's okay. And I find it difficult to believe that Matthias knew about it or agreed with it beforehand. I'm talking about. I could be totally wrong about that. Again, I'm here as one of the girls, and I'm just giving you my thoughts and my experience of how I'm experiencing this as compared to how you guys are experiencing this, correct? So then he comes live and he's in control. Am I right or wrong? If you believe during the John Matthias live 3.5-ish hours, what did you get the feeling that he's driving this ship? Right? He's driving this ship. I'm talking about the 3.5 hour live. He said, damn it, I got something to say. Right. He was firmly in control. And there were multiple times during this extended live that he took the reins away from Lauren. Like Lauren seemed like she was trying to contribute or she was trying to say something. And he was just like, nope, not happening. Get back on track with what I want to talk about. I thought that was interesting. And I made note of those moments in my notebook, not because I'm going to talk about it publicly unless there's a reason to, but I do think there were those moments, and those moments must be very, very important to Dr. Matthias, or he wouldn't have handled it that way. All right. I did not watch the 9-hour live. I caught parts of it. I think John is frantically trying to clean up the mess. There you go. Right. And whatever his motivation for doing the 3.5-hour live, I do think this. Let me say this. He was clearly prepared. All right, let me say that. He was absolutely prepared. I have zero doubt of that. But I feel like his emotions got the best of him. I feel like his emotions took him down a path that he really might not have chosen to go in a different situation. Okay. And I've been there. I understand the difficulty of having a certain type of education and trying to do a YouTube commentary that really, really weighs into your professional knowledge. But is it really appropriate to, I can't get into all that. So I was blown away. I did not review the 9-hour because it just looked to me like emotional, like an emotional explosion, right? I didn't do it on my channel. I talked a little bit about it, but not really review. But I thought that John Matthias's was so confusing. I'm so confused by what's happening. That's why the title of this is Hidden Secrets Driving a Confusing Narrative. Is that why internally I feel confused? Because they're all over the place? And if they're all over the place, then do we really know the truth? I would contend that we, in fact, are not. I don't think we are at a truthful spot here. Because it's been my experience that when facts are put out that are actually truthful, people don't feel confused, cognitive dissonance, if you will, right? When the truth is said, when facts are spoken, the feeling is completion. When you hear a fact and it matches what you already know, it's calming. It doesn't incite you to discomfort. And I think I felt really uncomfortable I felt really uncomfortable with the 9-hour live, but I also really, really felt uncomfortable with the 3.5-hour live. And that's why I think there's a different narrative. I don't think we're not being told what's really happening here. I'm absolutely convinced of that. And maybe you are in a different place than I am. But one of the things that comes to my mind is this. The focus was, Lauren made a mistake, right? That's what we heard. Lauren made a mistake. And they even quoted, let he who is without sin cast the first stone. So we got the Bible thrown at our heads for not falling down in compliance to the king and queen of true crime, correct? Our job was to listen to the queen of true crime, hidden true crime, 330,000 subscribers. Our job as listeners was to bow to the queen. And I think that is what John is pissed off about. because the 9-hour live just made matters 100 times worse. So he's going to come in with his big brain and he's going to repair it all. Now we got to comply. We got to bow down in allegiance to the king and queen of true crime, right? And I walked away going, nope, not bowing down to this disjointed, highly emotional, out of control message. I just walked away knowing I don't feel comfortable. I feel every time I listen to some other explanation, I get uncomfortable. And that makes me believe we don't know the reality yet. Notice I said yet. I think it's coming. And I think that the holders of the truth, they have a reason for holding it. And I think it may be conscience. I think it may be empathy. I think there may be someone that will be hurt that is not Lauren. I think when the true facts come out, I think it won't just be Lauren and John Matthias that get hurt. And that's why I think empathy is holding the holders of the crime back. And I will tell you this, and this I know without a shadow of a doubt. If that is the motivation to the holders of the truth, if they have withheld it to now because they just can't allow themselves to hurt another person that's innocent in this thing, then by putting out these unhinged, accusatory, angry, long lives, I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything. By putting this out, by putting all this out, this may create enough animosity that the holders of the keepers of the truth may override their empathy for the innocent person involved. And I think you guys better think about that. The never-ending explanations and emotional displays have only served to alienate more and more people. We feel uncomfortable. In fact, we feel so uncomfortable that intelligent adults with great training, good jobs, good homes, they're laughing at like calling Lauren's eyebrows the golden arches. That came out of Turtle Boy's channel the other night, right? Now I've seen where people have actually turned it into an account. Let me show you. The account is oh shoot, Mac. Is it McMathis? McEyebrows. That's what. Thank you. That's the word. The channel. McEyebrows. That is people, adults who are well-educated, kind, good, decent people. When they are willing to laugh at an adult's appearance, right? Jokes, I don't know. They're now at the point that they've thrown their hands up in there and they've said, this is ridiculous. 9-hour live, 3.5-hour live, screaming and yelling at me. You're screaming. Dr. John, you're screaming at me, calling me stupid? I don't know about that, buddy. I'd rethink that. And yet you did it, didn't you? You sat there and you said the subscribers, the listeners, the people on YouTube are stupid. Well, this needs to be a moment to rethink what is happening here. because the discomfort from what has happened is enough that people have lost empathy for what you guys are going through. And initially, empathy was very high, very, very popular channel, very popular people. And it's being tried, like it's on everybody's last nerve. And the reason I think is because it's just insincere, right? We're being asked to take the responsibility of what Lauren is clearly afraid of. Something about her own behavior. Now, the way that Dr. John approaches the live, he's basically saying everybody screws up. We all make mistakes, and you're a horrible, terrible person if you don't allow Lauren to not have to be accountable to her mistakes. That's what he is saying in his 3.5 hours live. He's going to say that's not true, but I challenge you to listen to it again and tell me what your impression is. It's like he's jumping in to rescue a small child, and so we're supposed to do the same? How can you do that when your channel, or like Dr. Matthias said, your brand is that you're professional. Your brand is, just the facts, man, right? It's all fun and games, happiness, laughter. That's your brand. Is that what has been delivered to 330,000 subs? So I am in the headset, the mind frame, that we don't yet know what really happened. And I don't believe for a minute we're really even entitled to know. You know what I mean? I don't think we're entitled to know. However, after, 14 hours, 13 and a half, 14 hours of being accused, being yelled at, having a finger shaken in our face, maybe now we're owed an explanation. But I would have said previously, none of our business. Whatever's happening, it's on you. And if you rewind and go all the way back to before the 9-hour live stream, before that, my advice to both of these people would have been, don't say a word, nothing. Get off of your channel, stay gone for a week or 2 weeks. When it all happened to me, I was gone for like 4 to 6 weeks. With maybe a couple little lives here and there. Christmas lights. I did one with Christmas lights around Houston. But yeah, the reason that when I was being targeted, had videos made about me that were unflattering and etc. I recognized that this person was obsessed with me. They were obsessed. And they began doing just what was happening here, showing lives, commenting on lives. I said, okay, I need to break the obsession. I'm not going to convince this girl to go away. That's not going to work. She's clearly in a mental space that is unhealthy. I thought in a psychodynamic way that something about me is triggering her to maybe her own mother. Later, that was confirmed to me. So I chose to say, okay, let me just stay offline for a little while. And if she's not seeing me, if I'm not talking, my camera used to be on all the time. I didn't care. I don't do that anymore because of what I went through. But I said I need to put a little distance here. And thankfully it worked. They'd make a shitty live. I would ignore it. Never bring up their names. There were some things that happened, as y'all know, and I thought, okay, but I didn't bring it back to the channel. That would have been my advice here. take a week or two off, get Grayson to make you some edited videos, maybe some little short 30 minutes or whatever off of existing recordings you've already done. Take a couple of weeks away from doing any kind of lives and wait for that obsession to kind of calm itself down. Because here's the reason why. Because when you started this crusade, this girl that you're calling, I'll tell you what, I'm not sure Christina is considered the stalker, but maybe I'm wrong about that. But Christina, aka Stalker, she had 100 subscribers, y'all. 100 against Goliath with 330,000 subs and a licensed forensic psychologist on panel whenever Lauren wanted it. So this was a clear classic case of David and Goliath. When I went through it, I was David. The channel coming was Goliath. Is that what changed the calculus here? Is that what made them think I'm going to come out and just slander this group of women and drag them through the mud, and then my loyal, faithful subscribers will do all the punishing, and then we'll be through with this? Is that what y'all were thinking? Because I could have told you right quick, that is not the way YouTube works. Nope. In fact, YouTube, we almost like hate the Goliath channels because they get a lot of additional support that the small creators don't have. We don't get to hire producers. We don't get editors. We don't get people that are SEO optimizing. We just make a silly, stupid video and put it up and wait to see if anybody watches it. That's really all we have at our fingertips. So this has been, if you look at it from beginning to end, this has been a comedy of errors. And the latest error is just catastrophic in my eyes. So I think we don't know the truth yet. I don't quite understand how you are sitting there with 330,000 loyal subscribers who love you dearly, but you're terrified of this young girl. It's got 100 subs. Nobody's watching her videos. What are you afraid of there? No, I don't believe not for a moment that you were afraid of a little 100-person channel. Not a bit. What are you afraid of? What is the truth that I think hasn't come out yet, hasn't been revealed? We have a group of women who were called annoying. We have some that were fired, let go, you can't work for me anymore. We have that. We have a woman who is a licensed attorney who wrote a manuscript about the Lori and Chad, story. And Nate Eden was tricked by Lauren to give this manuscript to Lauren, who then proceeded to go publicly, on a Facebook group, and said, "Ha, I have Lori Hellis's new book. Who wants the manuscript?" You know why that is so egregious, Dr. John? Because you are an academic elite. That's why. Because you understand the professional rigor that it takes to research, organize, write a book, go through the process of publication, and then advertising. You understand Copyright. Lori Hellis was cheated by Lauren. In no way to present it any other way. I suspect Nate Eaton is mortified because he did, in fact, call Lori Hellis and apologize, which is what an adult does. So right there in that little basket, how much wrong has been done? And yet, John Matthias absolutely minimized what we are all experiencing. He minimized what she did to Lori Hellis. He minimized what Lauren did to Nate Eaton by tricking him and him being a part of cheating a woman out of the proceeds of what she rightly earned by writing a book. There's some he said, she said behind the scenes that Lauren tried to tell people that it was plagiarized. Okay, where's the receipts for that? Because Lori Hellis has the receipts. We know when she presented her book. We know when she published it. We know when the artwork was done on the cover. We know when it was released to Nate. We know when it was released to the public. What is Lori or Dr. John giving us to say? No, it was plagiarized. It was really my book. Nothing, right? Nothing. Just 14 hours of getting your head beat over the top by Dr. Matthias and Lauren's microphones. That's it. Now, maybe they'll come out with their own receipts, but not yet. We haven't seen it. All right. I think one of the most egregious things that I heard in this live was they are shopping this so-called case, quotation marks, Dr. John. They're shopping this case to see which state will be most friendly to Lauren's claims. Yeah. Do you think if you already had one judge tell you that just because you don't like something that someone says to you, that doesn't make it slanderous, it doesn't make it stalking? So now they're just going to take their ball and go home and find a judge who will listen to them and be on their team. Someone who's got 330,000 subscribers, someone who's one of the elite, someone who's going to bow down to king and queen of hidden true crime. Dr. John makes a threat in this video. He threatens us, the listener, with taking, quotation marks, taking the case federal. Oh, okay. So now we're going to make a federal case. Come on, Dr. John, you pissing me off, buddy. You're going to take a case that's federal where Lauren did these things. She did them. And it hurts people, Dr. John, when you're betrayed or when someone makes fun of you or when someone violates your legal protections of writing and publishing a book. As far as I can tell, you guys ought to be damn grateful right now that Lori Hellis is not suing your pants off. But that's not what you do, is it? You're not like, okay, well, you did in fact do that, Lauren. You did it, and there's going to be people that have receipts, and it is illegal to steal copyrighted material. A book, no less. It's not what you did. You thought you'd scream like the king that you are, you thought you would scream at your 330 subscribers and say, don't you listen to those ne'er-do-wells. Don't you listen to the uneducated masses. Don't you dare align with the peasants of the kingdom. Isn't that right? And yet, Dr. John knows very well what copyrighted material is. And he understands very well the rigor, the time, the unpaid hours that Lori Hellas had to invest in writing and publishing a book. It's true. I haven't said a single thing that wasn't said in their lives. But I still stand by this. I have the feeling there's something we don't know right now. There's something that's creating this weird level of panic. All right. Now, I ran across this little bit of information on Twitter. So I want to play it because I think it opens up the door for the next level of conversation regarding, let's see. Oh, did that work? Yes. Okay. Okay. Where's the Twitter? Yeah, shopping for a supportive judge. Not a good look, especially for people that enjoy true crime. Share the screen. I want Twitter. Share. All right, y'all ready? All right, here we go. Okay, so she just verified that the stalker, according to her, all the stuff she's put in the court system is about Christina, because Christina is the one who is the artist. Okay, so I was wrong about that. So yeah, so she's making it clear stalker is Christina. Oh, shoot.
There's one. Okay. I'm paying her. That's all you need to know.
No, I think that everyone
Is that all
needs-
we need to know, Lauren? I'm not so sure anymore. I think we need to know a lot more at this point after the tongue lashing that all the listeners have received in the past several days. All right, I'm starting over, y'all. Sorry about that.
Here's an interesting clip of Lauren McEyebrow's being a friend versus being an enemy. This is in October of 2024.
I'm going to share with you that I was sitting next to, she actually is also a friend of mine, and she is an artist. And while we took notes, she sketched the entire time. My friend who is doing this as a service, I thanked her and I asked if I could support her business. She is a freelance artist. She actually said no, because she's doing this on behalf of Abby and Livy. But
I think that's disgusting, Lauren. I think it's disgusting that while you're making a video, bring in your receipts that are going to demonstrate to your subscribers why you are the victim in this situation. You invoke the names of Abby and Libby. That's disgusting, Lauren. Not professional, if you will.
I'm very grateful that she did this today.
Now listen to her switch it up a bit.
I met my stalker in April of 2024. During the summer of 2024, she began doing contract graphic design work for my business. Do we have those invoices?
Grayson, the invoices, now!
Let's pull them up. They may not matter, but I would like to show them. There's one. Okay, I'm paying her. That's all you need to know.
Oh, is it? The queen has spoken. It's all you need to know, with disdain on her face. How dare you question her? She's letting you know all you need to know. I don't know about you guys. I'm feeling like I need to know more. I'm feeling more confused now than I was before this all started. What about you guys? If you feel confused, put a 1. If you think that 14 hours of live has cleared it all up for you and you're firmly back into the camp of supporting hidden true crime, put a 2. That's a bold statement to make. Not a convicted stalker. Boom. Oh, yeah. There has been no hesitation about using children in this emotional manipulation. No hesitation. We're going to invoke the names of Abby and Libby. A pairing of names that makes most of the people in the true crime community feel protective of these girls like they were their own. Or JJ and Tylee, same thing. We hear those words together and instantly we feel this sense of love and protection that someone should have protected these babies, right? But hold on. It's not just about using other people's children for emotional manipulation. No, she'll use her own kid. That was the whole thing. My 8-year-old child. Excuse me, Lauren. Look, really, in a respectful way, how is it that your child even came to be part of your emotional meltdown with your job, your professional job? Is 8 years old appropriate to be learning about the horrible drama that unfolds on YouTube true crime? I don't think so. My husband doesn't even want to know about it. It's just distressing to him. An 8-year-old has absolutely zero ability to comprehend the things that Lauren is clearly must have been communicating to him. How is it that your child would even know? Oh, because he lives in our house and he sees how upset I am and how upset my husband is. Excuse me. We all have kids. We all get upset. And the adults in the room learn to control their emotions when they're around their children, don't we? I'm not being, oh God, I'm not being petty. I'm being truthful about my experience in this. I listened to this 9-hour live and I'm being emotionally manipulated. That's my experience. I'm not speaking for anyone else. I'm telling you what I experienced. And then my jaw hit the ground when I listened to the 3.5-hour live, and then I knew damn well I was being manipulated. Damn well. For example, here's a quote. No, not going to get petty. It's just about to get down on the dirt. Not going to do that. See how I did that? Did y'all see that, John and Lauren? I got triggered, see? And I was about to let loose. And I took a minute, stepped back, did a couple of breaths, got myself calm again. Now when I'm calm, now I make a decision about how I want to move forward. That's what's called being an adult. That's how you do it. pretty easy. And there are circumstances where things happen to us in life that are too emotional to exercise that level of emotional control. For example, my drover passing away, that I lost my companion. And yesterday was very grim and it was very sad for me and my husband. And even though I had written out my narrative, I had planned what I was going to say in my reaction to Dr. John's video, I did not go live because I needed space. I didn't need to act out emotionally, right? So there's an example where I just chose not to do, even though I had planned it, I just didn't, because at about, 10:30 yesterday morning, everything came to a screeching halt. So you breathe through it. You get focused on what you want to focus on. You control the narrative. You don't let the situation control you. All right, I'm going to get back on track here because I don't want to, say something I'll regret.
No, I think that everyone needs to know that she was considered a friend, even though you spun it as just some contractor doing work for you. Cut the shit. So let's go into what Grayson did for you, right, Lauren?
I have some juicy scoop for you, actually.
Give it to me.
So,
Okay, so this is Annie Elise, correct? And I got to tell you, love Annie Elise. I never miss one of her lives. Love the work she does. And I like that she does present very professional types of content, like the way she arranges her lives or her videos are well thought out and planned. And she also manages to connect with the audience like a friend, right? So she's still got that sense of enjoyment, that she loves what she's doing, as opposed to, this is my job, here's my robot reaction, here I am putting out my content. She's being real. And so it's nice to listen to her and hear her thoughts on things. So when I ran across this, I was just in complete shock. All right, so listen carefully. I'm going to let it play a couple of times because, wow.
So a girl who used to work for me, okay, in the true crime circuit, who went to these trials, I found out that she has been messaging with Lori, putting money on her books, pretending to be a Mormon herself, that she's like relating to her on all sorts of levels. I sent her to the first Lori trial, and I never knew any of this. And I just found this out maybe 2 weeks ago.
Crazy, right? So Annie Elise is saying, I have a girl who was working with me. I paid for her to go to the first Vallow trial so that she could go in the courtroom, listen to the evidence, build a narrative of our shows around the factual information coming out of the trial. Right? That's what, if you're one of the Goliath channels in true crime, you get to do that. John and Lauren are a Goliath channel. They could do that. She doesn't have to be there at every single one. But Annie Elise said, I need you to go. I'm going to push the bill. This is your job. Go report on what you hear, record some evidence, yada, yada, yada. Then she finds out this girl, previous employee, has begun a friendship with Lori Vallow, who's in prison. Or was she was in jail at the time. The girl, quotation marks, starts messaging Lori lies to her, says, oh, I'm also a Mormon, blah, 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 makes friends with her. It's fangirling, basically, Lori Vallow, child murderer, and puts money on Lori Vallow's books, gives her money. What would you do if you found out about that? Would you freak out? I would be livid. I would have come undone. Absolutely come undone.
I was so sick to my stomach. Like, I couldn't sleep. I was like, because she started messaging her while she was covering the first trial.
Oh.
And so I don't know if it was like she was fangirling over her or became so fixated she didn't realize like this is real life. She's not a celebrity, because you know how people are like obsessed with Chris Watson stuff too.
Right.
But full on started like a pen pal relationship with her.
So wait, this girl was working for you like with research and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
And so how had you already let her go before you found this out?
She left. Yeah, she left and works with another with a different news company.
Okay.
now.
You got to love Annie Elise. She's so fast on her feet, right? She's the uber professional. She is so fast on her feet. She was about to say works for another, YouTube channel or podcast, and just like, wait, what? I don't want to direct anybody to those people. So she works for another news organization. Good work, Annie. Such a good job.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it could be like a lesbian thing?
No. I think it's more of a fangirl type situation.
And just wanting to get close?
Yeah, and like,
And just being the one that's like, I'm the closest to this woman, and all.
but
these
she's not sharing it with anybody. That's what's so bizarre.
So the girl we're assuming was Grayson. There is some suggestion it might have been a different girl that had worked for Annie Elise and now works for Lauren, or did work for Lauren. But it seems like it might have been Grayson, right? She's lying to Lori Vallow. She's getting Lori Vallow's trust. She's giving her money. She's saying, I'm a Mormon too, girl. Let's be besties. And here's the kicker. Grayson, or whoever this is about, didn't share the information that she was getting with anybody. So now I'm thinking, ooh, Grayson, if that was you, like, what was your motivation to befriending a child murderer? Like, were you going to put a knife in the back of all these creators that you were working for? Like, were you also going to betray Lauren and Dr. John? You're going to betray Annie Elise? Like, what were you thinking? Or are you really that confused that you want to be Lori's best friend? Oh my God. So nasty, right? It's so dirty.
she never told me that they were in contact, and this started while she was still working for me.
So how do you message someone?
They have
in
prison portals where it's almost like email.
Oh,
Mhm.
but she didn't. But not to your knowledge, has she gone to visit in person?
Not to my knowledge.
And then she gives her money for like the noodles or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And like created a whole fictitious backstory of her own upbringing. She's not Mormon. She said she like did all of this research trying to relate.
connect, yeah.
And just bizarre. So bizarre. And she was at this trial covering it too.
It
for
is
the new
bizarre.
company that she works for.
Crazy.
Which I'm like, do you not have any integrity? Like,
No.
Good
and
question.
yeah, it goes so beyond that too, because she has advocated to be an ally for the two kids, that she has talked with some of the the family members, Kay and Larry, and
The
The girl who's befriending Lori is trying to become like an ally to help with what like to look out for the rights of JJ and Tylee. What the hell? What? Okay, Grayson, girl, if this is not about you, you better go live like now, yesterday. You better have receipts to show this is absolutely not true. This wasn't me. This was another girl that was working for Lauren and John Matthias. You befriended Lori Vallow. You lied about your own true history. You're giving your money to a child murderer. And then you're calling Larry and Kay so that you can speak out in support of JJ and Tylee? What? Excuse me, Grayson, or whoever this is about. What's your relationship to the upper echelons of the Mormon church? What is your relationship to Jody Hildebrandt? What? Why in God's name would you be befriending Lori to the tune of giving money to this cow? But then you would turn around and contact Kay and Larry. You're literally like a piranha in the rivers of South America. You're literally eating the flesh off the bones of the most egregious human being on the planet, Lori Vallow. It's incredible. It's the most incredible thing I've ever heard. I can't even believe it. Remember how we started this live today. My opinion, the level of panic for Lauren and John is so high that they are making some critical PR errors. You guys are making so much cash. Why in the hell haven't you hired a PR firm? If whatever is happening is so bad, Lauren, that you've got to go to court and take a young mother and have her thrown in jail away from her small children, if it's so bad and you're going to concoct and mold a story that is categorically untrue and false at every turn, why in the world didn't you guys act like professionals and hire a PR firm to help you move forward? Why? Oh, just curious.
Grandparents of the
The
little
grandparents,
boy.
yes. Yeah, sorry, I think I said survivors.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, she's messaging Lori and befriending her. It's so sick.
It's gross, Annie.
It makes me sick.
There
It
you
makes
have
me
it.
sick.
That's what Lauren was trying to protect Grayson from scrutiny, because Lauren may have put Miss Grayson up for this little scheme under Anna Elise's nose. Busted.
I don't know if I agree with that creator about that. Maybe 100% she could be dead on. This could all be about Grayson, and really, well, it wouldn't all be about Grayson. Let me restate. This creator is suggesting that the real problem is that Grayson and Lauren did this thing that any like level-headed person would be horrified, right? Like really, it's a disgusting boy. You know how they say you sell your soul to the devil for fame or success? Yeah, you don't move past this, right? This is it. That you take a young person who doesn't really have a lot of experience in the world, and you put them up to befriending a psychopathic deviant, Lori Vallow. You want your, let's call it what it is, employee to contact a psychopathic deviant, befriend the psychopathic deviant, give them cash to earn their faith or trust, and you reach out to the grandparents of said psychopathic deviants victims to get something that can be monetized and spread around in a capitalistic venture. with no regard at all to the people, the real people devastated. Is that not the very definition of selling one's soul to the devil? I told my channel, I can pull up the old emails and stuff. A very famous, well-known murder, and didn't make it to trial, but very well known. I had someone who was close to the killer's family, someone who was like very, very close to the family, reached out to me and said, I can get you an interview with the parents of the murderer. And I could probably even make it possible for you to have a phone conversation with the killer. That was actually said to me. And I was like, I can't think of anyone on the planet that I would be more opposed to talking with than that particular murderer or his family members. I was grossed out at the proposition. It was just a way for me to present their story in a way that was a little bit more flattering to, right? I understood what was at work and what was, the goal. But would it have helped my channel? Sure. Would I have gotten subs and money? Yep, absolutely. But you just think about what if somebody offered you the ability to speak to Jeffrey Dahmer on the telephone, to talk to Jeffrey Dahmer's mom and dad, to get information that no one else on the planet had about this heinous, horrible creature, and then turn it into hundreds of thousands of dollars by publishing a book? Would you do it? Could you put yourself into, I'm willing to give up every bit of my integrity, every bit of my morality, every bit of my ethics, my empathy out the window? You don't get to feel for the survivors and for the victims. You're just going to milk this bastard for every detail you can get so that you can make money. I just sat there and I thought to myself, what would that be like to talk to this egregious, disgusting human being? And I knew this too. The questions I would have asked would not have been things he would have given me the answer to. They were not things that he'd been happy to converse about. Do you know what I mean? Because they would not have driven the narrative. He's a normal, nice guy, and his wife was the real problem. And I was just like, absolutely not. I can't think. I think my exact words were, I actually can't think of a single person I would be less interested in speaking to. No, thank you. Thank you, but no thank you. Not my thing. No, can't even imagine how I would even present it. Nope. I'm doing fine in my own little teeny tiny channel, my own little teeny tiny world. I'm okay because I have my integrity, I have my morality, I have my ethics. So no, don't want it. Don't have any interest in it. This is exactly what Annie Elise is describing. That an employee of hers goes to the trial, reaches out to the killer, sends her money, befriends her, lies about having things in common and being besties, and then turns around and reaches out to Kay and Larry. What? And what do you do with that, right? It's got to be monetized, got to be capitalized upon by someone. It clearly wasn't going to be Annie Elise. She was like me. She was like, hell no, don't want any part of that. So who put Grayson up to it if it was Grayson that did it or if it was the other lady? There's another lady that it could have been working for Annie and then went to work with Lauren. So I don't know which of the two it is. But what if this person is right? McEyebrows, right? What if this person is right? And that it was that Grayson was already in contact with Lauren, was kind of like double dipping, like she was at the trial, but was turning a script over to Lauren and turning a script over to Annie Elise. What if? I don't know the answer to it. I don't know, but I thought that this creator that made this little clip, I thought, is this what we're missing? Is this the fact that we don't have? Is this why we've listened to 14 or 13 hours of emotional meltdown, and we all are just more confused than we've ever been because we don't have the truth yet, right? Is this what is the truth? I'm going to play it one more time.
Here's an interesting clip of Lauren McEyebrows being a friend versus being an enemy. This is in October of 2024.
I'm going to share with you that I was sitting next to, she actually is also a friend of mine, and she is an artist. And while we took notes, she sketched the entire time. My friend who is doing this as a service, I thanked her and I asked if I could support her business. She's a freelance artist. She actually said no, because she's doing this on behalf of Abby and Livy, but I'm very grateful that she did this today.
Now listen to her switch it up a bit.
I met my stalker in April of 2024. During the summer of 2024, she began doing contract graphic design work for my business. Do we have those invoices?
Grayson, the invoices. Now.
Let's pull them up.
Why are there invoices when you've just said that this woman was your friend?
They may not matter, but I would like to show them. There's one.
There's a $300 invoice for October the 4th. However, Christina spent time with Lauren. Christina even went to their house and went swimming, right? Maybe they split the dinner bill. Maybe this was partial payment for a B&B for all the gals that were together. We don't know that this was employment, do we? Let me look. The amount outstanding. Okay, here's an invoice for USD $300. The amount outstanding, $300, is due on October 4th. View your something. If you have any questions, please let us know. Thanks. Hidden true crime. I don't know. Weird. Very weird. But I, I don't know. I wouldn't have done that though. So I was sitting here thinking, what if this was just, they split travel expenses and there were 4 of them. So it was $1,200. So they divided by 4, right? But if that's the case, let me think my way through this. If that's the case, would she generate an actual invoice for her company? Okay, well, let me answer this way. If she did, it was highly unethical, right? So I own a company. I'm obsessive about this, okay? I never combine my money. So I won't I'm even like kind of scared about like that. Like there's a lot of people that I know that have companies and they'll try to figure out a way to do some kind of work so that they can write off a meal on that company's taxes. That's only one little example. Or they did the same thing with like gasoline purchases. Oh, let me stop and buy a book for work. Then I can write off all of my gasoline, when really what I was doing was going to see an Astros game. So those things happen. It scares me to death. It scares me to death. I'm like, nope. Even if I do stop to do something related to work, but I'm combining that with pleasure, like personal, I don't write it off. I'm just too freaked out about, I don't want to deal with, who, I want everything to be so clear cut. I'm willing to cut myself out of some money in taxes if I need to. So I'm a little nervous. So if that's what you did do, then I think that's a problem. However, I don't exactly know what her business structure is for Hidden True Crime. So I don't know if maybe you could do that. For example, if you're all going to go and cover the trial, then all 4 people being some kind, making a contribution like drawing or writing narratives or editing or, social media stuff. If everybody's got a hand in it that's staying at that B&B, then I think you could get away with writing it off. So interesting. Yeah. I don't know. So maybe it doesn't have anything to do with like fuzzy math. Maybe it's perfectly on the up and up. And maybe they decided, maybe she started out as a friend. She did some drawings and Lauren was able to talk her into becoming a paid contributor for her channel. In that case, then it's perfectly proper and appropriate. But I don't know how that helps her in her accusations of being a stalker. I don't know how that helps, but anyway, I'll be quiet now. Sorry.
Okay. I'm paying her. That's all you need to know.
No, I think that everyone needs to know that she was considered a friend, even though you.
And how arrogant is that? Man, that's something just gets under my skin. Don't be arrogant to people. Don't elevate yourself like you're somehow so special and other people are peasants. That is wrong. If there's a discrepancy between your money and somebody else's money, that doesn't necessarily make you a better person. Maybe you've been a little sneakier. Maybe you've broken some, IRS accounting. Maybe you're a trust fund baby and you're independently wealthy from the work of your parents or grandparents. There's a lot of different ways that people can be in a lot better financial position than just, oh, I'm better than you because I'm smarter than you and I make more money because of that. That's not true. There's some really awful people that make a lot of money. And vice versa, there's really great, grand, interesting people that don't make much money. You should never elevate yourself against other people. Never.
Spun it as just some contractor doing work for you. Cut the shit. So let's go into what Grayson did for you, right, Lauren?
I have some juicy scoop for you, actually.
Give it to me.
So a girl who used to work for me, okay, in the true crime circuit, who went to these trials, I found out that she has been messaging with Lori, putting money on her books, pretending to be a Mormon herself, that she's like relating to her on all sorts of levels. I sent her to the first Lori trial and I never knew any of this. And I just found this out maybe 2 weeks ago. I was so sick to my stomach. Like I couldn't sleep. I was like, because she started messaging her while she was covering the first trial. And so I don't know if it was like she was fangirling over her or became so fixated she didn't realize like this is real life. She's not a celebrity, because you know how people are like obsessed with Chris Watson stuff too,
Right.
but full on started like a pen pal relationship with her.
So wait, this girl was working for you like with research and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
And so how had you already let her go before you found this out?
She left and works with another with a different news company.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it could be like a lesbian thing?
No. I think it's more of a fangirl type
And
situation.
just wanting to get close.
Yeah, and like,
And just being the one that's like, I'm the closest to this woman, and all.
but
these
she's not sharing it with anybody. That's what's so bizarre.
So weird.
She never told me that they were in contact, and this started while she was still working for me.
So how do you message someone?
They have
in
prison portals where it's almost like email.
Oh,
Mhm.
but she didn't. But not to your knowledge, has she gone to visit in person?
Not to my knowledge.
And then she gives her money for like the noodles or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And like created a whole fictitious backstory of her own upbringing. She's not Mormon. She said she like did all of this research trying to relate.
connect,
Yeah. And just bizarre. So bizarre. And she was at this trial covering it too for the new company that she works for.
Crazy.
Which I'm like, do you not have any integrity? Like,
No.
and yeah, it goes so beyond that too, because she has advocated to be an ally for the two kids, that she has talked with some of the like the family members, Kay and Larry, and
The grandparents of the
the
little
grandparents.
boy.
Yes. Yeah, sorry, I think I said survivors.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, she's messaging Lori and befriending her. It's so sick. It makes me sick.
There you have it. That's what Lauren was trying to protect Grayson from scrutiny, because Lauren may have put Miss Grayson up for this little scheme under Anna Elise's nose. Busted.
So it's curious, right? And I wanted to play it that second time without interrupting. I'd still interrupt it. I'm sorry. But I wanted to play it that second time to be very clear, very clear. Annie Elise does not say in that clip, and I haven't seen the original recording, so I don't even know where to begin to find it. But in that clip, Annie Elise never, ever says that it was specifically Grayson, right? There is another woman that's in this group as part of the Christina Seven Gatherers group. There's another woman who, in a different channel, they made the connection that this girl was working for Annie Elise and then started working for Lauren. So I don't know for a fact that it was Grayson. Okay, I don't know. It could have been the other one. So Annie Elise in this clip never makes that connection. It's that other creator that's showing the clip. So I would take it with a grain of salt that it was Grayson. I think Grayson, it's 50% chance that it's Grayson. It's 50% chance that it was this other woman, right? And we know, Justice Jane, we know for a fact that Annie Elise is the one that experienced this. Some people have said that it might be Annie Lytics, but we know now that it's not Annie Lytics. Annie Elise is telling the story. And I think Lauren brought up analytics in the 9 Hour Live, but maybe I'm a bit wrong about that. So don't quote me there, but, which is why I'm not liking the ad hominem stuff. Let's see what DB said. Beauty's only skin deep, but ugly goes to the bone. True. Absolutely true. So yeah, I get really uncomfortable with the whole making fun of people's, looks and all that kind of stuff. And clearly, can we be honest here? Okay. I am no spring chicken. I go on, all you got to do is look at my other videos. You'll find some lives where I'm on screen. I'm an old lady. I got the wrinkles to prove it. I'm wise. That's how you know I'm old, because I'm wise. And I'm not so bothered by my wrinkles. So Lauren is a beautiful woman. Okay. So can we just be fair on that? And people are making fun of Botox, the eyebrows, but here's the truth. Women that are professionals, even men now for that much, even men, when you have a forward facing job, where you're in direct contact with the public all day long at work, yeah, we're more likely to get Botox, filler, facelifts. We're more likely to be in that group. Nobody wants to go through the pain of a facelift or to go through, I'm telling y'all, filler, it hurts. It hurts pretty bad. Botox does not hurt at all, but filler that is a battle. Okay, it's tough. Nobody wants to do that if they're not kind of marketing. If your face gets put on, you know, if your face is out there for everybody to look at, you do want to present yourself in the best light. So I don't think it's appropriate to use those things to, you know, make an issue in this. But I think we've been at this now for nearly 2 hours. The big takeaway here is that we've got a lot of information and it has not made anybody feel better. Right? Well, oh my God, Ange. What an astute statement. Thank you for that. Handmade by Ange. Yes. That is the way to cut right to the heart of the matter. Filters, fillers, and Botox, that seems to be a lot of conformity for a self-proclaimed non-conformist, correct? Yeah. That is a great statement. True. Maybe that's the reason that so many people felt so uncomfortable and started going after her looks. Maybe that is. Oh, I'm going to have to give that some thought, Ange. Thank you. Because Again, I was just blown away by the comment about conformity. And I said out loud, well, who's the damn king and queen? If you're talking about conforming, Dr. John, and you're talking about bowing down to fall in line and do what the king and or queen is demanding, that sounds like to me, actually, that it is Christina who is being asked to conform to what Lauren wants. Did anybody else read it that way? Oh, I hope so. I love Kresha. Kresha is thank you guys for coming in and talking about Kresha. If there's a mod in here that could put up the link to Kresha's channel, I'd really, really appreciate that. McCheese, which will be 3 o'clock. No, what will be? What? I'm sorry, Elder. I don't know what you're saying. Can you retype that? Okay. Yeah. Oh, and that happened too. Doesn't believe in public shaming, but goes on to do a 9-hour live that does what? Spends 9 hours shaming a young woman. I'm not even going to say a young woman, a person who was a friend for 1 year. Lauren, people have friends and employees, but to have a friend that long or an employee for that long, and then when it goes south and you end that relationship, then you go public, you try to jail them. You wanted to put this woman in jail, Lauren, for what? No one has heard anything that was egregious. In fact, I feel like Queen Bee and Jay, Every Day with Jay or JS for Justice, I feel both of those people have done a really great job in in their channels, their lives, they're really focusing on the fact that if you are a YouTube creator, you're going to run across people that are going to come with these games, whether we want to call them trolls. And I do think trolls do it for fun. Okay. I think there's a distinction to be made between trolls and like stalkers or just people that become obsessed, right? I think those are three different categories. Trolls are getting up underneath your skin because they like your emotional reaction. I mean, we have all over the YouTube streets, the common refrain is don't feed. Y'all say it. What is the saying that everybody learns when you become a YouTube creator? What is it that you learn right off the bat? Don't do what? I thought that I had made a no. Yeah, don't feed the trolls. Correct? That it's just a common refrain. Trolls come in, you don't acknowledge them. Your mods instantly block them. You don't put them in timeout. You block them because they're going to come back for more. They're trying to get an emotional reaction. You just block them. And never say, "Oh, look, we have a troll in here." Trolls are looking for an emotional reaction, and if they don't receive one, they move on to a new channel to try to get it there. Correct? A person that gets obsessed, they are people that they're having a mental health issue in real life, and they can get attached to a creator and feel as if they know that creator, when in truth, you don't know anything about the creator. You're watching, you feel like you know that, but in reality, the creators offline, they're their own people. They do whatever they're going to do. But to accuse someone of being a stalker, to accuse someone of defamation, to want to take the freedom to take a woman away from her small children, to say that they owe you $6,000 because they aired out dirty laundry online, you are way off base, Lauren and Dr. John. And I know it hurts. I still have crappy things said about me that are still available for people to watch, and it hurts my feelings. I don't like it. But that is not stalking. And you run the risk, Dr. John pulls out okay, Dr. John, you pulled out all your books for your live. What's the rule on current contemporary citations? 16 years ago? I don't think that matches with contemporary citations. Do you? So my question is, why did you have to use a book that was 16 years old? Couldn't find anything on the internet, stalking on the internet, the legal status of stalking on the internet that was done in the past 3 to 5 years? I find that absolutely unbelievable. 16 years ago, we weren't even really accessing the internet. I mean, some of us were, but it wasn't like it is now. So why did you choose that aged, obsolete text? Not like phone text, but publication. Why did you choose it? 16 years old, Dr. John? I mean, it looks like you're controlling what you're putting out there as authenticity. Like, here's an authority. Here's a guy that published this book. We've got 2 editions on this book. Here it is. This is the name of the game. Here's your expert on stalking and victims of stalking. 16 years ago? All right. Yeah, me too, Inga. Me too. He was citing UK definitions too. Bruh, we live in the United States of America. Brad Pitt, good God. Oh my God. Oh my God, Susan. Okay, so here's what's about to happen. Okay, I've done my editorial part of this whole mess, train wreck. This is my editorial statement. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to end this because we're at 2 hours. All right, I'm going to end this. I'm going to take about an hour and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to actually go through the live. Okay, and I'll comment on that. And we have Cresha going live. Can someone tell me what time Cresha will? Yeah, the mind exercise. Et tu or etiam tu brute. Oh, Harry and Meghan, my God in heaven. I made that parallel to someone not connected to true crime, trying to explain like what it's like, how it's being experienced. It is exactly like Meghan and Harry. With Meghan and Harry, my own personal experience, I feel like Harry has been turned into a lapdog. I feel like Meghan Markle Harry was acquired as a marketing tool, something that she could put on all of her little business ventures and say, you better take me seriously. I have credibility because I have Prince Harry, right? That's how I've experienced that. And I get that. Not exactly that with this situation, but just seems, it's too much. And here's another part of it too, y'all. What if we're all being fed a line? What if this is all by intent? What if this is their transition into drama? What if? Could I be wrong? I don't know. I have no idea. Jackie T, welcome, friend. I still recognize harassment at play here and cyber stalking. Ugly, in my opinion. Well, look, here it is nasty business. All right. It's nasty business to say, I have a secret and I'm gonna hurt you. You're gonna be embarrassed. Okay, that's nasty business for anyone to do. And you would hope that the people you know wouldn't bow to that level, correct? But how were you friends with someone for a year and you didn't figure out that they could do something this underhanded? And Jackie T, if we go all the way back to my first video that I did where I talked about this situation, what did I say? I said, this is all about boundaries. This is a boundary problem, right? The truth is, Lauren is the professional. She's Goliath, if you will. The other women that are the 7 gatherers connected to Lauren, I'm not talking about the real 7 gatherers with Lori Vallow. I'm talking about, and I do think they chose this moniker as a way to be kind of ominous, but laughing, kind of funny, kind of, it's in bad taste. It's an awful taste. I never, ever would have chose that, correct? But these women are butthurt, right? These women they all have a shared enemy. The person that hurt them is Lauren Matthias. And they bonded over that. They can't, it pulled them together. Remember what I said? We make friends according to proximity, physically, how close are we to these people? But the second way is a shared interest. Well, if you are her victim of, bad behavior, it feels good to be heard. It feels good to have a group with you that has experienced what you have, and to be able to say, I was really afraid of Goliath, 330,000 subscribers. I was really afraid of Goliath. Now I can see it didn't just happen to me. I can see that other people have experienced what I have, and that makes me feel a bit safer. Right? Lauren had the responsibility to keep her boundaries in place. She had a responsibility to define who are friends and who are employees. Right, Dr. John? We know about that, right, Dr. John? Lauren violated that highest rule in ethics. You don't create dual relationships. It is exactly 100% the reason that I say many times, I am not a YouTube psychologist. I do not extend my professional work onto YouTube. If I am here, I am speaking 100% as one of the gals. Nothing more. Dual relationships. I've also had someone that contacted me who knew me here on YouTube, and I had to say, I'm so sorry. I really appreciate you contacting me. I appreciate your trust in me. I just don't do this. This is not the work that I do on YouTube in no way is connected to my real work, but I have a great colleague that is more than happy, and you're going to love them. They're tremendous. Okay. And I move that on. That's the right thing to do. When I'm here, I want to be one of the girls. Correct? So you got to establish boundaries. Your employees should not be staying with you. You put them up in a B&B if it's cheaper, and then you get a hotel room. You should not be going and getting drunk with your employees under no circumstances. And your employees should damn sure not be living in your home, babysitting your children. And I could say something else, but I'm not. I'm gonna leave that alone. Okay. All right. So boundaries. That is at the heart of all this mess. If there was anything that could have averted this train wreck, it would have been professional boundaries, setting them with your employees. Here's my rules. I pay you. You work for me. This is your role, and we'll all be going. I'll buy your plane tickets to the trial. I'm putting y'all up in a B&B, or I'm getting your hotel rooms. I'll be in a different hotel. You can go out for dinner, bring everybody along, pay the bill with iced tea, Cokes, and water. That is what is required of a business owner, a professional who doesn't want to deal with a train wreck. All right. So that is the one spot that all of this could have been averted, was setting professional boundaries. I'm talking about Lauren, Dr. Matthias. That is what needed to be in place to avoid all of this mess. All right. Okay. No, I don't. First of all, Miss Cheese, hashtag things I never expected to see in my side chat. Thruple. Okay. I don't think we should, no, I don't think so. I think it's exploitation. I think it's getting away with paying a very little money for getting all your needs fulfilled. And it's wrong. Okay. In my opinion, it's wrong. Well, yeah. It's too bad, right, Diane? It's really too bad. Okay. All right. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to end this. It's 2 hours. Taking a break, and I'll be back in a little while. Did anybody ever tell me what time Crush's live is? Because I don't want to step on her live. That is a certainty. Let me see. What time? Oh, good. So Crusher will be 8:30 tonight, 7:30 Louisiana time. All right. And I will be there. I hope you guys are in 7:30. Thank you, Diane. I'm sorry. No cult for me. Thank you for the time. And Diane too. So I will see y'all there tonight. I'm talking about just in the side chat. I'm not a guest. Thank you for being here, the elder. I appreciate that. Yeah. I hope you'll at least hit the thumbs up, but you can definitely hit the subscribe button if you want. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Okay. So I'll be back in about, it's 3, let's see. So 7:30, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So I'm going to be back at around a little bit before 4. Okay. Miss Cheese. I know, right? It's so weird. It's such a weird word too. Yeah. Okay. All right. See you guys later in about an hour. And then of course we will be at Crush's Live tonight, Louisiana time, 7:30. All right. Okay. Hopefully not more physical appearances, bullying. Totally agree, Georgia Sparkles. I love your name too. Yeah. Making fun of people's appearance when you're an adult, it's a little uncomfortable. It's funny. Sometimes people say things really funny. And I'm not going to lie, when Turtle Boy said that about the golden arches, I came undone. I was like, oh my God, that is sacrilegious. Like, you can't talk like that. But it did make me laugh. We're all people. We're a bunch of children living in grown-up bodies. You know what I mean? So there are moments that we need to play, which is why I have my YouTube channel. All right. The name of her channel is Difficult Research, and the mods are dropping her link. So I hope that she's a great person. And she can tell you anything you ever wanted to know about the LDS hierarchy, the money, the drama, right? She's really educated herself. Yeah, she's a great person. All right. So I'll be back in about an hour. All right. See you guys then. Oh, please hit the thumbs up. Please hit the subscribe button. Let's see. And we will leave on, what will we leave on? We're going to leave on my favorite.
Woke up at dawn with the pelicans in flight. Coffee brewing strong by dawn's early light. Waves whisper secrets to my open heart. The life around this water gets me off to a great start. Parrots wild, squawking loud in the old palm tree. Dolphin smiles, brighter than the Texas sun on me. We chase simple dreams, nothing fancy or grand. Just honest days in this promised land. God gives rainbow horizons to those in this happy lane. Diamonds dancing on the waves, back sparkling again. Honest living, a pursuit of peace. Family ties and the happiness we seek. Love for God and country running deep in our veins through the deceptions woven, no false starts. It goes like a front porch swaying in the ocean breeze, watching the sunset fade away with pink and bluey. Teach the young ones right from wrong with care. Hold them close when the world's unfair. In this Gulf Coast life, we find our way, building memories that never stray. Oh, rainbow horizons after the rain, diamonds dancing on the waves back again. Honest living in pursuit of peace, family ties and the happiness we see. Love for God and country running deep in our veins. Through the storms and the trials, we break those chains. Good living brings the blessings we see. Rainbow horizons calling to me. When the night falls quiet and stars shine bright, I thank the Lord for this humble light, for the flag that waves and the grace from above, filling our hearts with endless love. No riches compared to the peace we found